Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Apps for Success. As always, I am John Bowman, and we're going to review an app you can use for your customer success team. This month we're going to focus on an app called Intercom. Now some of you might be familiar with Intercom, some not. I promise by the end of this video you're going to know a ton about Intercom, because I know a ton about Intercom. We actually use Intercom for most of our customer-facing interactions, and I'm a bit of an Intercom expert. I love the app. So in this video, we're going to go over some best practices, but we're not going to go over everything because Intercom is a giant app. For example, you can do all of your marketing through there. You can do all of your support stuff through Intercom. It's just a lot. So we're not going to cover everything. But you're going to get a good overview of exactly what the app can do and what its strengths are. Before we dive in the app, though, as always, we do have our joke in this month. What is the difference between a hippo and a Zippo? Give up? Well, a hippo's heavy, and a Zippo, it's a little lighter. All right, on to the app.
Okay, folks, we're here at intercom.com, right? And this is where you're going to need to start your journey. Now, this app's a little bit harder to install than some of the apps we've seen previously. You might need some help from your development team. Specifically, you might need to check out something called Segment. Segment is something that tracks your users inside of your application or on your marketing website. In our instance today, I didn't create an entire web application. Instead, I just popped up a marketing website. But I'm using Segment to track what happens on this website right here. Okay, so we got a little apps for success. Success starts with you. We give you productivity, blah, 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 right? So imagine this is just your marketing website. It could also be your application or whatever it is that you sell, okay? Now, how does Intercom work? Well, let's show you. This is Intercom, the application. And as you'll notice, there's 4 main tabs up here at the top. These are the 4 main parts of the app. We've got platform, messages, inbox, and articles. Platform is where we're going to start, and platform is basically where you can track your users. So as we can see, we've got johnandexample.com, we've got Lilac Basketball from Pittsburgh, that's where I'm located, right? These are what we call 2 leads. Now, again, this is just a marketing website, it's not a real web application. But if you wanted to, you could look at users. And again, I'm not going to have any users here. So we're just going to stick with leads. As people load up the website, you're going to see that you can start to track them. This thing called Segment is what's tracking them. Okay. So it's tracking them, and as people create as they click things, as they do things inside your application, it creates a user profile. So as you can see, we've got a user profile here. And if we click it, you can see almost everything that this person has done inside the application. When they were first seen, when they're last seen, their conversations that are open, what they're talking to us about. Notice here, there's a ton more information that can be added in here, okay? You can add your own notes. You can also see their activity. If they're checking off tasks, if they're using your application in some way, it's gonna be there. You could also just click here and start a conversation. Very cool, right? You get user profiles, and all these things are automatically tracked and built through Segment, so you don't have to do this. You have to build this each time, okay? The other thing you're going to notice here is, again, this is something that's what we would call a lead. We don't know who they are, right? They haven't been qualified at all. They're an unknown person, in which case it just automatically has random words that get put together, Lilac Basketball, right? And you can see when I was last contacted, etc., etc. Now, as you can imagine, this list gets incredibly long. But what you can do is you can select specific people. You can send manual messages. You can send auto messages from the screen. You can also tag them and say these leads are from this particular website, or we need to do this action for them. There's a bunch more things you can do. You can export, you can archive, etc. You can do all that. Additionally, something that's kind of cool is I got a nice little world map view here. So if you guys have a lot of users, you can just open this up and show exactly where the users are. So a funny little story about that, there's a great guy at Intercom named Des Traynor, and I highly recommend Googling Des Traynor and reading some of his articles. he spoke specifically about this particular feature, and Intercom was thinking about getting rid of this feature. The reason why they kept it, forgive me, is because they found that people who were using their application would often use this worldview whenever they're trying to pitch investors, because it would show the investors specifically, look, we're all over the world, we've got people everywhere looking. Now, my little app obviously is just here in Pittsburgh, right? But again, you can imagine that there are people dotting the entire planet depending on your application. So we're back here. Again, we're seeing this lead list. But notice up here, there's also the ability to create filters. You can do segments of your leads, right? So we're going to click the Add Filter button, and look at all these different filters you can use. And mind you, I'm not a developer by trade, right? I know a thing or two just because I've been teaching myself. But you can say, I only want to see people who have a certain web sessions. You know, their number is greater than or less than or whatever it is, right? So imagine you can do that for all of these different filters that you want to put in here. You can, these are called attributes. You can even pass through custom attributes, all right? I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but like I said, Intercom is a ton. And this platform, again, this is where you go to sort of take cross sections of your user data, all right? So remember, you can have different segments. You can save different segments. You can also export some data. You can change, I want to see their phone numbers and email addresses, and that stuff shows up here as well, okay? All right, that's an overview of what is happening on platform right now. Again, you can see active, new, slipping away, etc. These are just examples of segments you can save. Next, we're going to move into the messages territory. Now, again, we don't have any users, so what we're going to focus on is the visitors section. Now, this visitor section has a welcome message, right? What you can see is from this welcome message is if somebody comes to the website, you're going to be able to see this welcome message go live. One moment. Okay, so again, we're looking at visitor messages, right? We've got a welcome message here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the website. And when we go to the website, you're going to see the Intercom messenger in action. In the bottom right of the hand of the screen, see it load up and see it pop up. Hi, have a look around. Let us know if you have any questions. See that? That's because we have this message set up here. That's our welcome message. And the messaging is actually really simple and easy to set up. You just click the new auto message button right here, and you'll be able to compose your message. If you have other team members, you can change who it comes from. You can change who the replies get sent to, right? Notice this is a chat. See what it looks like on the right? We've also got a note. This is a note again. It's got rich content, which is cool, and it automatically kind of pops up there. Then you can take over the entire screen with a post or tell a story. Additionally, what we're doing is inviting a reply with text. If we want to, we can invite reactions. Just tell us if you like this or not. You can add your own as well. Finally, down here below, it's sent as a badge, meaning, you just see that little one there. Or we've got a snippet where it shows a part of the message, or again, it shows the full message, right? So again, these are in-app messages that are being sent. And as you can see, we can type the message up. We'll just hit done, and it'll take us through to define our message audience. Now remember earlier when we were on that platform, what we were showing you inside the platform is that you can slice and dice all the users, or forgive me, all your leads, because again, we don't have users, any way you want, right? You can use these filters and you can filter for specific types of users or leads. But if we come back here and we're trying to send a message, we can add rules. We can say only send a message, more than, or somebody who's been last seen 5 days ago or less than 2 days ago or whatever it is. You can add in more rules here, right? Only from a certain city or a certain country or a certain time zone. Again, these are called attributes, total visits, single page views, and you can get your developers, or you can add in custom attributes that you track, again, through that little application we showed you earlier called Segment. Segment is really great. Next, take a look at set page targeting, right? So when the user lands on the page, or if the user has set a particular period of time on the page, or only on specific pages, that's really great. See how fine you can get with these messages? Set up a follow-up, right? You can get what's known as the operator bot to automatically set a follow-up. We'll show you how to do that in a bit. Set a goal for your message. What is the whole point of doing this, right? You might want to get people to sign back in, or when they were last seen, or what the web sessions are, right? You want to increase those. You can schedule it during particular times of the day, custom dates, never stop sending, only during office hours, etc. All those things are great. And then finally is just to review and set live, okay? So imagine you're doing this for each one of these messages, and they can go to users, they can go to visitors. You can send out manual messages, and manual messages are exactly what they say. Send messages in real time, right? Send a one-off message if you want to. Additionally, there's reports. Now, there's not going to be a ton of reports here because, again, this is just a little instance I spun up, so there's not a lot of data there. But these reports are pretty darn good. Also, I love Intercom's onboarding. If you come here and you're looking at if you're looking for somebody to emulate for onboarding, check out Intercom's start guides. All right, so we've been through platform, we've been through messages. Now we're going to check out inbox. Now, inbox is where you're going to get your support conversations, right? So notice I've got a few conversations that are already ongoing right here. Okay, John from example, basketball, etc. Let's start a new one. So this is going to be a new one. It's going to be, hey, I need some help. Right? It just starts a message. That's great. One thing I actually really love about Intercom is that you have the option of putting in emojis, GIFs, or attachments directly here in the message. We have specific hours we're available, right? You can set your specific hours and it'll automatically ask the person to give you their email back. So we're going to give a new email here, which is john@example.com. Here we are. And so it's automatically doing that, and you're going to be notified via email right there, right? That's pretty cool. But maybe I wanted to ask a question about, what's the deal with apps for success? And why does John have such a bad Seinfeld impression? Right? But maybe after I send that, I'm going to add a little emoji. We're going to add that guy in there. And perhaps I'm going to add a GIF. Now, these GIFs are amazing. I love these GIFs. Our customers, and like I said, our shop uses Intercom. They love these GIFs. Got a little dog there, right? It's really great. You could also come in and you can search for specific ones and just say, hi there. I love using the hi there one because it's got this Tom Hanks from Forrest Gump. There you go. Sending those in. So I'm a customer and I'm sending these in. What does this look like then from the support team? And if we go to the support team, look, I've got some already here, right? And you can take the messages that have come in. You can notice we're looking at the open messages. We can look at the snoozed ones, meaning, we're not going to get around this till later. You can look at the closed ones as well. Additionally, you can sort these by different areas. We can say, show me the oldest, show me the newest, show me the waiting longest, priority first example. You can do lots of priority stuff too. But we're going to look at the one we just sent. Here in the one we just sent, check it out. On the right, you get a quick understanding of who the user is. If you have more information, again, this stuff's all on the user profile. You can click that there and be brought directly to their user profile. It shows you the specific page they're at, what are the previous conversations you've had, and maybe team members have added notes. All right? You can add notes in here. Additionally, you can add in notes down here in the bottom. We'll get down here in a second. On the right-hand side, there's specific details you can add. See, 21 of them have been hidden. We can add in more details if we want. And we can tag this specific customer a specific way internally. Now, on to what we can do here for the customer. So the customer is asking us a question here, right? They've sent emojis, which is really fun. That's great. This is beautiful. See right here where it says suggested by operator? Operator is what they call a chatbot. Now back here inside, I'm on the wrong instance. There we go. Back here, what you can see is that this little icon, this denotes operator. All right. Operator automatically qualified this lead for us and gave us an email address. Okay. So when we come back here into the app, there we are. What we're going to show you is that operator has also suggested a knowledge database article. Now we haven't gotten to the knowledge database yet. It's down here. But as you can see, it's really handy to just add that knowledge database article right directly back into our reply when we're attempting to talk to a customer. Also of note are the notes. See this note section here? You can mention your teammates here. Just use the @ symbol and you can mention their name and ask a question. I love that. Again, it's a great way to have an internal conversation on the conversation that you're having with a customer, and it is not customer facing. We'll go back here to the reply, right? So maybe I want to answer their question. If I want to answer their question, I can say, hey, Tom, or hey, Tim, or hey, John, right? Whatever it is that we're going to put in there. But notice these little icons down here below. One, we can add an article, right? We've got articles. We talked about those. Two, we can add a saved reply. Save replies are great because you can create a save reply here. Very easy to do. We're going to say hi name, right? And then we're going to create our save reply, hi. And we're going to click the little add and we'll say their first name, right? And we'll give a little fallback here, hi there. So you may not be following what I'm doing right now, but this is essentially just a way to insert their name that's already stored inside the app, right? So we can save that, we can insert reply, right? Now, notice I don't have this person's first name yet, but I'm gonna add it in. I'm gonna add in John. We're gonna save it. It started a little qualification there, that's great. So then here below, when I do the save reply, and you start a save reply just by hitting hashtag hi there, hit enter. See how it started with hi John? It automatically got the person's name and it put it in there. These save replies are extremely powerful. And I highly recommend when you're using your save replies that you put emojis in there too, okay? Emojis are your friend. They've done studies. Emojis help people to better understand the tone and the communication you're attempting to accomplish. So feel free to use those. Not only can you use save replies, you can add GIFs, you can add images, you can attach files, you can add apps. The apps we'll get into a little bit later. It's going to be bigger. You can also showcase some particular content, perhaps from your blog, which is really, really cool. Again, lots of stuff inside of Intercom. We're not going to be able to get into all of this, but we're going to show you, again, we're looking at conversations here. Let's say, we answer the question. We're going to hit send. If you hit Control Enter, it automatically sends it, which is great. Come back to the conversation. We can see we've answered that question, which is awesome. That's great. And then here, what we'll do is just close it, and you click the little checkbox to close. There we are. It's closed. From the customer's point of view, nothing much has really changed. However, we can send out customer satisfaction scores so that whenever you close a conversation, it'll automatically ask the person for the score of the conversation that they had. We mentioned this previously, right? We can snooze a conversation. You can say later today, tomorrow, 1 week, etc. You can put that in there. Additionally, you can mark something as a priority or not by simply clicking that little star. All right? So that's a quick overview of conversations. We can get a little bit more into automation if we'd like. Remember, you can create SLA rules, priority rules, assignment rules. You can create new rules. You can say if a customer matches a particular types or particular attributes like we were talking about earlier, they come from a particular source, or we know that they're a lead, then we can assign them to teams. Right now it's just me in here. We could create a sales team, we could create a support team and have their conversations automatically routed to that particular person. Additionally, there are priority rules. Remember, you can say if something is or comes from a particular place, it automatically gets priority inside of the queue. We have SLAs. Again, we can create new SLAs. I don't have the premium feature unlocked because you do need to talk to sales to get that, but you can do that as well. My preferences are here, right? So you can change your inbox wallpaper. You can change your conversation profile, what the qualification looks like, when last viewed was. You can change your assignment preferences. There's a ton here, folks. The reports are really great. They've improved a lot. Like I mentioned, they used to leave a bit to be desired. But as we can notice here, we've got performance, we've got leads, we've got the ability to export your reports into CSV as well. Now we're going to get into articles, and articles are essentially knowledge database articles, right? If we go to my example article that I've got it set up here, this is an example article. You can see how many people viewed it, what the conversations were, reactions, all that kind of thing. Additionally, as you'll notice, we've got a title, a subtitle. You can create lists, you can add videos, you can add GIFs. I love this. Our knowledge database has over 150 articles in it. And not only will you have these articles in order to insert in conversations like we showed you earlier, but if somebody asks a question inside of the chat bubble down here on the bottom right, Intercom will also automatically learn which knowledge database articles you use most often and will automatically suggest those when the customer is asking a question that relates to that knowledge database article. So it's a great way to divert people from having to talk to support all the time. It just automatically suggests their article that they want to read. Now, it's a knowledge database, so there's not a ton more to talk about here, right? You can have finish, you can have drafts, you can turn on help centers, right? You can create collections of articles together. Additionally, you can look at insights, you can figure out which ones are not performing well, which ones are performing well. But those are the general 4 tabs of Intercom. Now down here below, we're going to be, again, a little bit more cursory, but you can change what the messenger looks like. You can change the languages, you can set your availability, you can require email addresses for conversations. Additionally, you can also add in apps. Now we didn't talk too much about the apps yet, but I'm just going to show you, you can add apps into the messenger here. So you can showcase some content, like an announcement. There we go. We'll type in, hey, new blog post. And then URL. There we go. We'll autofill the inputs with page details. And we'll add that to Messenger Home. There we are. We also do need an image, unfortunately. I don't have an image in there, but that's okay. Again, what you would see is that it will be added right there. Let's pick something else. Maybe we'll put in an article search. Oh no. All right, looks like I just gotta enable that real quick. One moment. There we go, all set. So we're gonna put in the article search now. And there you go. Now inside of the messenger that pops up anytime someone's on our application, they have the ability to search our knowledge database directly from the chat bubble. See how we just added that? We can save and set live. Perfect. We can style it, we can change the way it looks. We already talked about that, change colors, etc. You can control what happens when conversations are inbound, right? Users only match certain criteria, etc. Then always, you can make it secure, enforce identity protection. Now, the more important thing we're going to talk about right now is the bots. I know, bots are impersonal, right? But I love these bots. They're really, really great. So notice we've got for users or for leads, you can create your own customized bots. Right? So here's a user onboarding template. We'll use that and we're going to choose our audience, obviously. We're going to hit done. There we go. So check this out, right? What you can see here is we can welcome a new user. When we do, they get these 4 options. When they click any one of these 4 options, it puts them down a path. These are the different paths. So we can select perhaps the Let Me Explore. And they'll get this message from operator, which says, not a problem. If you run into questions, send us a message, right? Or maybe they want to learn how to do something like sell tickets. They get this message, etc. The point is you can create paths based upon what you want to offer the customer to give them the ability to do things without you needing to be there. You can set particular times a bot is going to show up, and then you can review and set live. Again, you can create them for either users or for visitors. That's not a problem. You can also start them from a button. Additionally, one thing we talked about briefly is this idea of Answerbot. Like I said, I love Answerbot. Answerbot's really, really great. So the main difference between Answerbot and what Operator does is Answerbot will allow you to create a new answer. And what an answer comes from is it'll search the questions your customers ask you, and you'll be able to see those questions here. Once you see them, you can compose an answer. So let's say somebody's always asking about how to reset their password. We can say, put a short answer in which says, you can reset your password by clicking here. Here we are. And we can put in a little link, which is www.google.com. Or if you want to, you can make it a little bit easier. You can add a bubble, insert an app, right? And then it asks if that helps them, or if they want to see more, or perhaps wait for the team after they get that question, that answer to their question. Imagine answers sort of like knowledge database articles, and you can link knowledge database articles inside these small answers, but imagine them shorter. They get to the heart of the question that the person's asking. Again, you can review and set live, you can do reports. We love Answerbot because Answerbot actually uses machine learning. And what that allows you to do is to train the answers that get sent to people. You just ask the same question in different ways, and you can eventually see that Answerbot starts to have more coverage over the questions that people ask. It's really, really cool. Just some general settings here. Again, you can choose identities, you can call them different names, you can auto-close conversations, you can configure different things about it as well. Now we talked briefly about the App Store. This is the App Store down here below. And the App Store is going to allow you to see all the different apps that are built in Intercom. It's really a platform now. You got Salesforce, you got Slack, you got Calendly, you got Outlook, you got Facebook, you got Google Meet. Again, tons of things you can use in here, and you can make all these things work together inside of Intercom. One of the things actually we're doing is we're switching to the Google Calendar app integration. What you can do with this is you can install it and it'll connect to your Google Calendar, and then directly here inside the Messenger, like you can see, it'll automatically choose times for people to come and talk to you. Not only that, but it'll give you a public link for your calendar as well. This is free of charge, similar to Calendly, right? And you can set your times that people will be available to meet you, as well as when you want to talk to them. Okay? There we are. So there's a bunch of different categories. You can also build your own apps from here. I've done that a little bit. Nothing too complex, but it's pretty darn easy. I liked it. So those are the major points of Intercom. Like I said, it is a very big app. We can get into more detail about the different campaigns and messages you can set up. Again, though, this is just based off of a small little marketing website that I built up. If you have an app that has hundreds of users or thousands of users, you can tailor the messaging specifically to them. Like we mentioned inside of our write-up, this is great for marketing. It's great for sales, and it's great for customer success and support. Because imagine your marketing uses visitor auto messages, right? And when they do, they can create messages or campaigns. If we go here to campaigns, right? They can create campaigns. And what a campaign is it's all the users who match a specific goal. You're going to start sending them a series of auto messages. You can send them in-app, via email, or directly to their phone. So imagine marketing starts, they land on the marketing page, they get an in-app message, but they don't engage. That's okay. You can send them an email. And that email attempts to get them engaged again. They can reply back. When they reply back, that's great. You can put them on a different path. They can start talking to a salesperson. Salesperson gets them done. They hand them off to success. And again, we can have our own campaigns in order to help drive people along the desired path, whatever our end desired outcome is. I love Intercom for that reason. Essentially, this is one tool in order to give you a unified customer journey. And everyone at your company can use it, and it will allow your customers to have one easy point of contact in order to talk to all of you, to everyone at your company. Additionally, I love it for support because it allows to have a shared inbox, right? Everybody on your support team, everybody on your sales team, they can all come in here and they can see all of the conversations that are ongoing. It's really, really great. Okay, so like I said, long video. We went kind of shallow with this. We can go more in depth if you want to. Like I said, I'm a power user of Intercom. I use it a ton. So if you have any questions, feel free to just ask them inside the comments. I promise I'll be able to answer them. As always, I wanted to say thanks for coming, folks. I appreciate you watching. Let me know if you